Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ole Walls House! Let's get fucking listening, baby!
Welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls. And I'm back again. Episode number 89 coming your way. 89. Just 11 shows away from big number 100. That's pretty crazy to think about. So as always, just want to say to start the show, thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate all you. I appreciate the support. I appreciate people watching and listening. And as always, appreciate producer Kevy for getting this thing to air for us. As always, a little housekeeping. You know the deal, some housekeeping. If you guys could, as much as I appreciate all the support, if I could just ask you to rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share on all the different channels, you know, whether that's Spotify, Apple Pods, Google Pods, YouTube. Don't forget to go subscribe and share it on YouTube as well. So drop some comments in there too. That helps it out. So fun show coming this week. We got NFL Week 2 to talk about. I will, as always, be talking about my Packers as well as the rest of Week 2. Fun week in the NFL. Hoping. Haven't totally confirmed this, but we've got it penciled in. A Ryder Cup preview for next week. Hopefully, I have a couple of guests for that. So hopefully next week that's what we'll have. Before we get going, quick word from Liquid IV. It is apparently still festival season because this is still going for me. And, you know, if you need a plan for faster and more efficient hydration, Liquid IV has you covered. Whether you're prepping, whether you're powering through to the headliner or recovering after a long weekend, you know, you can apply this to a lot of things, not just festivals. Liquid IV is the way to go. Like I said, I love it. Convenient packaging. There's all sorts of flavors. Remember, one stick of Liquid IV, 16 ounces of water, 2 times faster hydration than water alone, all 12 delicious flavors, the 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. Excuse me there. I was struggling a little bit. 3 times the electrolytes of sports drinks, premium ingredients, non-GMO, free from gluten, dairy, and soy. And Liquid IV believes that equitable access to clean and abundant water is the foundation for a healthier world. So that's a good thing. So if you're looking for 20% off Liquid IV, 20% off, go to liquidiv.com and use promo code OWH, or you can go to the link in the show notes. It'd be down below you somewhere, and go to there and use promo code OWH. Again, that's O for Ole, W for Walls, H for House. Liquid IV, 20% off, promo code OWH. Let's get to the show. Oh no, we suck again. That was one of my thoughts this weekend, Sunday afternoon, when, you know, the fourth quarter rolled around. That was just what I was thinking, unfortunately, was, oh no, we suck again. The Packers were delighting me again. And, you know, I was excited what I'd been seeing through 3 quarters. And then the fourth quarter showed up, and yeah, I was much less excited, and I was like, oh no, this is what I thought. And, you know what came to mind in that fourth quarter was this image I'm about to show you on the screen. They are who we thought they were. And that's what I thought. Like, I just, it was everything I was worried about. The defense was porous and would give up plays and chunk yardages, and Jordan Love wasn't going to be the guy. So, I mean, we got there, and it looked like I was excited. You know, a team playing with 3 starters down to start the day. No Watson, no Aaron Jones, who, you know, after he says, oh, that hamstring was a problem at the end of last week's game. Obviously a problem. Watson still hasn't played this year. And then Bakhtiari doesn't practice all week and is out. We can talk more about him later. So, you know, they build this lead. They build a 12-point lead. but there were spots where it was dicey, and then there were spots where I was like, "Holy shit, this is all right." Right off the start of the game, flea flicker, get a PI, moves it right down the field, right in the field goal range, and they fuck it up. A false start, and then a delay of game when they're going to kick the field goal. A delay of game. Like, what in the fuck is going on? So there's 3 points that they don't have because they end up punting. And this was a good thing, though. They punted instead of, it would have been a 56-yard field goal for Anders Carlson. And I believe I saw he had made a 58-yarder outside in preseason. And it's inside. Like, it's in Atlanta. It's inside. But, I mean, gosh. That hurts. The defense, well, they got one interception early. Kenny Clark makes a nice play on the quarterback, pops one up in the air. Was Will Douglas gets it. There are 2 dropped interceptions, one from Jair Alexander, who, by the way, was getting cooked by Drake London all day. And that hit him in the hands. Like, this wasn't like, oh, we got to dive out of the way. We got to catch one off the side. No, that was like here. And he could have gone the whole way. That was 6. And so he dropped that. Quay Walker drops one. And now while we're talking about the defense, they just got to be better. Like, they need to be better. They got a turnover, but they allowed 27 first downs. Allowed the Falcons to pick up 3 of their 4 attempts at 4th down. Allowed 211 rushing yards and 235 passing yards. 446 total yards to the Desmond Ridder-led Atlanta Falcons. Now, granted, they got some nice pieces. They got Bijan Robinson. They got Drake London. They used Tyler Algiers very well last week. They didn't use him a whole lot this week. I know because he's on my fantasy team. And they scored 13 points in the 4th quarter. The first quarter wasn't great for Green Bay, but those middle quarters were. And Jordan Love looked solid. He was 14 to 25 for 151. He had like 80 yards and pass interference. So, I mean, not a lot of yards. 3 more touchdowns. Didn't make many, was making good, quick decisions in that, second and third quarter specifically. Looked very good in the third quarter. I was like, holy shit, this is looking good. Like, maybe I'm going to start eating crow here a little bit. I probably was getting over, I was getting, super optimistic. And I started looking down their schedule. And I was like, let's go. And then the 4th quarter happened. The defense can't stop anybody. And the 3 drives the Packers had in the 4th quarter, they had 10 plays because it was 3 and out, 4 and out, turnover on downs, game's over. In 10 plays, they gained 11 fucking yards. 11 yards. Now, I know they didn't have Aaron Jones, and I get that matters, and that their left side of their line was banged up, and I get that matters. But when push comes to shove, first off, you need drives to kill the clock. They had 2 opportunities to take a drive to really run the clock down. They couldn't do it. And I know. No Aaron Jones. No Christian Watson. No David Bakhtiari. Elton Jenkins was out at that point because he's hurt. He has a sprained MCL. 3 drives, 10 plays, 11 yards. A.J. Dillon just trips over himself once a game, it feels like. He's not a number 1 back. Can he be used maybe in, 15 carries for 55 yards? What's the math on that? 3 yards and fall over. 3.6. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not good. So Aaron Jones being out hurt, but hey, granted, this is one game. So it's not the end of the world, but this was what I was worried I was going to see all year, and I feel like I'm seeing it real quick. But if Jordan Love's going to be our guy, he's got to pick those up, man. You gotta go for 3-4 series, not 3-4 series, 3-4 sets of downs. Pick up a couple. You got to pick up a couple first downs in one of those fucking drives. Preferably the first two while the lead is still fucking intact. And then the defense just got, driven right down the field on them at the end of the game. And hey, maybe they were tired because I think the Falcons had time of possession. Yeah, 36 minutes, 15 seconds to 23 minutes and 45 seconds. So, it was a pretty big disparity. They're getting 5.7 yards per play. They weren't great on third down, actually, the Falcons, 6 of 15. But, the Packers were 3 of 9. Went for it on fourth once and didn't get it. When Jordan Love obviously wanted to go for it and thought he was getting the ball and then diving in a hole, and that just wasn't a thing. The Falcons only punted one time. One time! The defense has to be better. Has to be better. Has to be better. And Jordan Love just can't disappear. But this goes to the play calling a little bit. I feel like the play calling always gets super, super conservative at some point in the whenever the Packers get a lead. In the later halves of the game, the play calling gets that's where I got that thought from is Big Cat Gardner texted me. Final takeaway, A.J. Dillon sucks. He literally trips over his own feet constantly. I said just once a game, not constantly. Joe Barry and his defense are soft as shit as per usual. LaFleur is a pussy play caller, always gets insanely conservative any type of lead. Whole team is made of glass. Cut or trade back. Dude can't stay on the field. That's a great that last thing was something I wanted to talk about too is Bakhtiari. Like there were no indications after the game last week against the Bears that he wasn't in good shape. Like I don't know what happened during the week. Maybe that's just what it is. Because there was an interview, I think it was Matt Schneiderman, however you say his name, was asking LaFleur. And it said, did Bakhtiari not play due to turf? LaFleur says, no, we all know that Dave's been dealing with this, and so, no. Schneiderman, could this be a deal where he doesn't play any games on turf? You guys, I'm not going to get into that. We all know this is 2 years now. I'm not going to get into it. It's probably going to be like this from here on. So, does it probably going to be like this from here on mean, he's just not going to play every couple games? He just plays, 10 games a year? You may get him back-to-back? Maybe if it's to a Monday? Is that what it means? Because, if he plays next week against the Saints at home, then it's a quick turnaround to the Lions on Thursday. If he's not playing on full week's rest, I have a really hard time believing he's going to play on a short week to a Thursday. So, what's the deal? Are we just resigned to the fact that for half the year you've got maybe the best left tackle in the game, but just half the games he doesn't play and you just hope you can save him towards the end of the year? You load manage him all the way through till the end of the season and hope if you guys are in the hunt, he's available? Not great. Not great. Christian Watson's been hurt the whole time, too. This Aaron Jones thing, now I'm worried this is something that just drags through the whole year. Those things can happen, like a hamstring soreness and tightness all year. Aggravates it, and, maybe it's worse than we let on. Maybe there's more to know. Who knows? It's a weird feeling that this team always feels like they're hurt. So, yeah, this was the team I was worried about. And, like I said, the Bears stink. That was proven again this week. We're going to get to more of the NFL here in a second. But, that was proven that the Bears are not good. They're not a good football team. And Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. Again, we'll get to that. So just like I said, looking forward for the Packers. We home against the Saints this upcoming week in week 3. Week 4 is then hosting the Lions on Thursday night, and then at the Raiders the following Monday night, I believe. I think they go a stretch where they don't, it's Monday. They don't play a Sunday game for about a month. Because after this week, then it's Thursday, Monday, and then they're off. So, yeah. So from this coming Sunday, the 24th, their next game on Sunday is October 22nd. So Couple home games after starting with 2 games on the road. The Saints, nothing crazy out of them week 1. We're going to learn a little bit more about them tonight here shortly as we're taking a look at this here on Monday Night Football. And I will be coming back with something for Monday Night Football here. So who knows? I mean, like I said, they didn't blow anybody, they didn't blow me away in week 1, but they won. There's always something to winning. They beat a Titans team that just had a nice win this week. So we'll see. The Lions, obviously, we've seen kind of two sides of the Lions as well, and then the Raiders. They got their pants blown off by the Bills. So I don't think it's the toughest stretch in the world, but the Lions could be good. Obviously, the Lions beat us last year, knocked us out of the playoffs. So there's some winnable games. We're gonna find out a lot about them shortly. Again, you're gonna find out a lot every week with this team. I think it's just you're getting to know them so much. So yeah, the Packers, they brought me back down to earth. They took me sky high. I was trying to find the Creed. Can you take me higher, GIF? We're gonna start shoving in Jordan Love in that third quarter, and then the bottom fell out. So let's run around the rest of the league. Fun week 2 is goddamn. I love the NFL, man. It's so fun. Eagles Vikings Thursday was a fun game. The Vikings, if they could have just held on to the fucking football, some fumbles, 4 turnovers for the Vikings. 4 of them. Not what you are looking for, Vikings. 4 turnovers, and they only lose by a touchdown. Kirk Cousins played pretty well. What was his stat line? 31 of 44, 364 yards, and 4 tutties. That was nice for my fantasy team. Jalen Hurts, 18 of 23, 193. Not a ton of yards, but good completion percentage. Philadelphia just kind of got out ahead and stayed ahead in this game. A.J. Brown was an interesting thing. Philadelphia was up 27-13. And A.J. Brown was having or 27-14. What was it? Yeah, it was 27-14. And A.J. Brown was having a hissy fit on the sideline about not getting touches. And they tried to force it to him a couple times, and then the game kind of tightened up after that. It was weird. And I know Devonta Smith was getting all the stuff, all the yards and everything, but you're winning, man. You're a Super Bowl contender here. He had 4 receptions for just 29 yards, but it was interesting. It was interesting. Bouncing around the rest of the league. Bills, like I said, they get a bounce back when they just beat down the Raiders. A big matchup in the AFC North. There'll be another big matchup tonight, but the earlier matchup, the Ravens and the Bengals. The Bengals fall to 0-2. 0-2 for, I believe this is the second year in a row now. And Lamar Jackson outplayed Joe Burrow. I think it was through 6 quarters this year. So the game last week and the first half this week. Joe Burrow's longest completion was 12 yards. 12? Oof. Oofda. They figured it out a little bit more in the second half. And he put together some decent numbers. 222 yards for 2 TDs, but had an interception. 27 of 41. Not great. Lamar Jackson, 24 of 33, 237, and 2 TDs. Much better. Looked pretty good. And, that's going to be crucial now that the Ravens are up to 2-0 and the Bengals are, 0-2. If there is a tiebreaker, obviously those things can get very dicey, and there's a lot of things that can happen if they just split another game and then you start getting into other shit in the NFL. But good mojo for the Ravens. Tough loss of J.K. Dobbins last week, so good for them to bounce back with a win. You got to like that. And it's pretty obvious now. I think you have to say it's the Ravens' division to lose, pending what we see from the Browns here tonight. The Browns look pretty good in week 1. Let's see what they can do on the road against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I think they're favored there for the first time in 30 years. Let me see this. Let's do a little looking. Browns favored in Pittsburgh. Over under is 38. Ooh, that is low. I'm on Browns tonight, by the way. Let me see if I can see this. I just heard it in passing. It's one of those things you hear and you're just like, oh, yeah. Cleveland is just 2-22 in Pittsburgh in Acrisure Stadium, formerly known as Heinz Field. 2-22. Oof. And 1-21 in the regular season. So they won a playoff game? Interesting. It's been a long fucking time since they've been. Last time Browns were faves in Pittsburgh. 1989. There it is. The 1989 season opener. They won 51-1. 51, not 51-1. 51-0. So, good sign for Browns fans. You are favored for the first time since you beat them 51-0. So, got to be a good feeling. I think the Browns roll tonight. 34 years. Wow. Yeah, I think they roll. I think they're a team that was way better than expected and are going to kind of prove it here early with 2 big division wins. Now, a team I thought was going to be bad was the Bears, and they were. And there is nothing about it that shocked me. I just didn't think Justin Fields was very good. And I don't think you can overcome very bad quarterback play. And I saw this tweet from Dan Orlovsky on Sunday. The Bears' offense is tough to watch right now. Every play. Very surprised it's this way so far. I don't know why he's surprised. I don't. I mean, I'm an idiot. Like, let's get that straight. I know so little about football. I just love watching football. I love playing fantasy football. And I know players. Like, I don't know schemes. If you try to have me draw up schemes and shit like that, no chance. Like, I'm not a good talent evaluator. Like, I am just strictly an idiot fan. Like, I have no experience. I played junior high football. That's all I got. After that, I switched to golf. Like, so I got nothing. But I just watched Justin Fields the last year, and I was like, this dude stinks. And I saw him again this year, and I'm like, yup, he still stinks. I don't know why that was confusing to a guy like Dan Orlovsky. Like, I feel like he should know better. Like, if my dumb ass can see someone and be like, he stinks. Like, I think I can notice 2 things about football. I can notice when people really suck, and I can notice when people are really good. Like, I can tell you Patrick Mahomes is pretty fucking good. Like, I got that. Like, I got that figured out. Travis Kelce's a good player. Justin Jefferson, he's pretty good. Speaking of him, and the Bears, he now has more receiving yards than any Bears player ever. Ever. He's been in the league for what, 2 years? This is his 3rd year, right? This might be his 4th year. Hang on. This is his 4th year. He has more receiving yards. 5,134. He went 1,400, 1,600, 1,800, and he has 300 through 2 games this year. And he has more receiving yards than any player in the history of the Chicago Bears. The history of the Chicago Bears. That's how pitiful the Bears' passing offense has been forever. What else? Couple of good teams here. Let's talk some good teams right now for a second. First of all, the Dallas Cowboys roll the New York Jets. So, New York, not a good time to go up against the Cowboys. They pummeled the Giants last week, obviously, and pummeled the Aaron Rodgers-less Jets. And I know Rodgers was on McAfee, and he was like, oh, maybe he'll be back by the playoffs. It ain't going to matter. Like, Zach Wilson ain't going to get it done. That team can be they're going to win some games based on how fucking talented the rest of the team is. But Zach Wilson is not the answer. It's not the answer. I might not even be able to tell you people who are good. I can just tell you people who suck. And Zach Wilson, unless something fucking drastic happens, he stinks. He stinks. And the Cowboys do not. Micah Parsons is good. They're rolling along offensively just fine without without Zeke. Dak is playing very good. They're not turning the football over, and their defense is, one of the best they've had that I can remember. So the Cowboys are rolling. Who do the Cowboys have next week? The Cardinals, so they should have another win. I mean, they got to go 2 with Arizona, but that shouldn't be an issue. The 49ers, also a very good win. A very good win over the Rams. The Rams the Rams kick a field goal as time expires to cover the spread, baby. I did not have the Rams, but I saw that and I was like, it was a 10-point game and it's going to 7. I'm like, holy shit. I wanted to say, like, I feel like the line was around 7. Like, this matters. So, question of the day is Sean McVay. Is he in on the lines, or is he just was kicking the field goal because he felt like he should kick the field goal? But yeah, the Rams cover last minute, but a good win for the 49ers. It wasn't the most exciting or like back and forth or craziest game, but it felt like the best game on yesterday. Like the two best matched up teams. The Rams looking more like the Rams of 2 years ago than last year. Obviously, Stafford being there helps. Puka, here we go. Names. Me and names. Let me try. Puka Nacua. That's right. 25 catches. 25 catches in the first 2 weeks. That sets a record for him. So they're coping pretty well without Cooper Kupp. They found another guy to just fill the stat sheet for him. So it will be interesting if and when Cooper Kupp comes back this year, how he looks. There were some comebacks and other great games. The Giants were down 60-0 through 6 quarters in both their games. And it was 20-0 at halftime. They get down by as much as 28-7, and they come all the way back. They come all the way back and win. They kept a parlay alive for me, a teaser parlay. The ones where you tease, but you get the better odds. So, that was fantastic. Daniel Jones, everybody was writing Daniel Jones off. He's owed $47 million next year. Oh, sorry. One other good team that I mentioned before we get on to all the other good games. The Chiefs won. The Chiefs get their win back. And Travis Kelce plays and scores a touchdown. And the announcer says Kelce has found himself a blank space. Because Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, I got a blank space, baby. And I'll write your name. You're welcome for all that, people. You're all welcome for that. Commanders, they come back. They come back to beat the Broncos. I think that was 21-0 at halftime. Am I correct in that thinking? Not exactly. I'm an idiot. It was 21-14. Did it get to be 21-0 at any point? It was 21-3. It was 21-3 early in the midway through the second quarter. And then 21, and then they scored it. They tied it up coming out of half, 21-21. I mean, there was a lot of like, is Russell Wilson back? And, there was a 50-yard touchdown pass. I didn't see that, actually. I must have, stepped away after that was happening. Oh, that was the last game on, so that went off Red Zone. So when Red Zone went off, I just kind of called it a day. Huh. But, yeah, Russell, 18 of 32, 308, 3 TDs. There was a lot of Russ's back, and then the Commanders came storming back and ended up winning that game. Seahawks, in another fun game, they take down the Lions in overtime. I wanted to bet that game so bad, and I just couldn't talk myself into it. Just couldn't do it. It was 14-7 at halftime, and it was tight from there. That was just a close game the whole way through. That was a fun game to be catching on Red Zone. And then what else do we have? Oh, the Titans and the Chargers. The Titans and the Chargers. Ryan Tannehill, one of my fantasy quarterbacks, has a nice game. 20-24, 246 in TD. He ran one in as well. Things are dicey out in Los Angeles, you got to imagine. 0-2 start. 0-2 start. Anybody on the hot seat out there? Anybody on the hot seat? And then another very good team, the Dolphins, hold off the Pats. Crazy end of that one. Mike Gesicki's lateraling it to Lineman, who gets the first down, and then he doesn't get the first down after review. So good win by the Dolphins, who seem to have added some nice run game to them. Raheem Mostert has a nice game, 18 carries for 121 TDs. To a 21-30, 250 again. It's not 466, but it was pretty impressive still. They seem to be a good team. If they could have just scored, one more point, that would have been nice for me and the team over. But I pushed it. So we're all right. The Pats, they made another kind of late comeback push. They scored 14 in the fourth quarter to kind of keep it close. But yeah, the Pats 0-2 as well. 0-2. Is there a point where Belichick can be put on the hot seat? That's a big question. You never know. Is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe not. And then Monday Night Football night. You got the Browns and the Steelers. And then the Saints and the Panthers. So see if Bryce Young bounces back. See what the new look Saints with Carr look like. And then, like I said, first time in 34 years since 1989, the Browns are favored against the Steelers. I like the Browns. I like it big. I like this Monday Night Football doubleheader. We get it again next week as well. And then I think we're back to just one game. Yep. But I love it. I almost think I like it more in the second week when it's like you're really itching. You got any more of that football games? We got two tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got two tonight. So quick look at the standings. Dolphins lead the AFC East. I think that's a 2-horse race now with the Bills now that Rodgers is gone. We're going to find out a little bit more in the AFC North. The Steelers are the team I think everyone kind of thought to be last place in that, but if they win, they'll be in second with a good win over the Browns. Bengals, who knows? Everyone says, I'll say it plenty. Runs in the NFL are short. It's there 1 minute and it's gone the next. I don't think that's the case with the Bengals. I think they end up salvaging this, but you never know. AFC South, who fucking knows? The Jags, the Jags, the Colts, and the Titans. The Titans with a really nice win over the Chargers this week. That's a division that's up in the air. I think it's going to be a fun one. Texans stink. AFC West, Broncos not looking great again. Chargers with a rough start. Chiefs, dropped the opener, but look better. Didn't look great, but get a win in the books and the Raiders. So I don't know what's going on there. I think that's still the Chiefs division just to kind of handle. NFC North, Packers and Lions up there. The Vikings have dropped too. The Bears stink. The Vikings don't seem to be very good either. So I think it's the Lions division to win. I don't know. Maybe the Packers find something here in the next couple weeks. The NFC East is a juggernaut again. The Cowboys and the Eagles are the class of the NFC. The Commanders are 2-0, but they beat the Broncos and the Cardinals. So let's take a step back. The Giants got boat raced by the Cowboys. We're going to get looking like they're going to get boat raced again, but made a miraculous comeback. So we'll see what happens to the bottom half. But I think the top half is the class of the NFL. Falcons and Bucks both undefeated now. Both undefeated. Saints have a chance to go undefeated tonight too. So you could have 3 2-0 teams in the NFC South now. Who knows? I don't think anyone's really saw that coming, but who knows? Maybe they get a team or two. Maybe they get 2 teams. Obviously, they're going to get 1 team in the playoffs, but maybe they get 2. And then the NFC West, I think that is a very good division. I think the Seahawks are still solid. The Rams look to be back, and the 49ers, I believe, to be the best team in the NFL. Brock Purdy, not a pumpkin. The Purdy pumpkin watch is ongoing, and he has yet to turn into a pumpkin. And Christian McCaffrey is an absolute stud. So we'll be right back after this with the Monday Night Football stuff. Well, that was an interesting night of football. The offenses were not great. Saints and Panthers, turnovers galore early. That game got moved to the second TV when Steelers-Browns came on. So I wasn't watching that one as closely. I do know this. Bryce Young stinks. I know it's early. I know it's only game 2, but right now he stinks. There's a lot of room for upside, obviously, but not good. Not good right now. But at the same time, you do have to wonder, is the Saints D like pretty good? I mean, I know Bryce Young didn't show anything really in week 1 either, but you got to wonder if the Saints D is solid. The Saints D did go prevent to end the game and give the Panthers the old backdoor cover, but not a lot of good offense in that game. The Browns and Steelers game was a wild game. The first quarter took an hour. 1 hour for one quarter. For 15 minutes of football, it took a little over 60 minutes of real time, I believe. I mean, opening pick 6 off a bobbled catch, whatever you want to call it. Then Pickett was throwing a interception on his third pass. Pickett didn't look great tonight either. Deshaun Watson was a very interesting case tonight. He went from, completing these great third down completions to, a huge fumble at the end of the game that TJ Watt took back for a touchdown. Amari Cooper had an incredible day after being questionable. TJ Watt was incredible tonight as usual. He's now the all-time leader for sacks for the Steelers, I believe, with 81.5. Let me check. Yeah, 81.5 career sacks. So glad the Packers passed on him a few years ago to trade back for Kevin King. Kevin King, that is, that they traded back for. It's Kevin King. Yeah, he still plays for us. I was going to say, I'm like 99% sure. Yeah. No, I lied. He's out of the league. He's been out of the league for a couple of years. I said that. I went to that saying Kevin King doesn't play for us, and then I saw he plays for the Packers. I was like, I must have missed that. Nope, I didn't. He's just no longer with us. He skipped the 2022 season in order to get healthy and suffered a torn Achilles in May of this year while working out to get himself ready for training camp. That's too bad. But he wasn't very good. So, back to the games. This was a game I thought the Browns were going to win pretty handily. But Monday Night Football apparently is a different thing in Pittsburgh. They have now won 21 straight games on Monday Night Football, I believe. I mentioned in the last segment that the Browns were favored for the first time since 1989 in Pittsburgh. Didn't go as well as the last time they were favored in Pittsburgh when they won 51-0. So, yeah, it was interesting. I mean, 26-22 is the final, right? Didn't pay enough attention when I stood up. I believe it was 26-22. Yeah, 26-22. I mean, just some weird numbers when you look at the box score. The Browns scored 11 points in the second. The Steelers scored 9, and the Browns scored 8 points in the third. I know, obviously, how you get there, some 2-point conversion, but just interesting numbers. You don't usually see those a lot. And, man, just an interesting night of football. I wouldn't say it was a good night of football. The Steelers-Browns game was a fun game in the second half. The first half was kind of wild. I mean, there was the old fumble-rooski play at the end of the first quarter where there was a catch by the Steelers that was immediately fumbled, and then they're just batting the ball down the field like it's fucking volleyball out there. So yeah, there's your Monday Night Football recap, a doubleheader this week. We get another doubleheader next week. I believe I saw the Bucs are playing. Let's look at the schedule real quick to see what we get next Monday night. We lead off next week, Thursday, with the 49ers hosting the Giants. Then we have our full Sunday slate. Then we have Eagles at Bucs in the early game and Rams at Bengals in the second game. Those are two interesting games. The Bucs who've kind of, confounded expectations early and looked better than most people thought they probably were, And then the Rams, who have looked pretty solid this year, ran into the 49ers. And then the Bengals, who have been seriously underachieving. Not an easy matchup for the Bengals next week on Monday Night Football. What else do we have? We have Steelers heading to the Raiders on Sunday night. Cowboys, Cardinals, nothing there. What good games do we have? Bills at Commanders. That's kind of interesting. The Commanders are 2-0, but I don't think very good. Browns host the Titans, who've got a couple wins under their belt. Just one win under the belt. I apologize. I was conflating something with something else. Chargers at Vikings, Saints at Packers. Interesting slate next week. A lot of teams who kind of need a win versus some teams who are pretty solid. Broncos need a win heading to the Dolphins heading east. Jags host the Titans. That looks like a good spot for them to get a win. The Patriots heading to the Jets. They need a win badly against a team they probably should beat. The Chiefs get the Bears at home. Should be a way for them to get a big win. Seahawks and Panthers. The Panthers stink. That should be good for the Seahawks. The Colts, I don't know what the deal is with Anthony Richardson yet, so it'll be a fun week next week, I'm sure. Falcons Lions. That's a fun one early on Sunday. So, all right, that should about wrap it up. I've been just kind of rambling here for a few minutes, so let's keep this pod rolling. College football time. I didn't watch any college football this weekend. I played in a golf tournament and hung out afterwards, and it was a scramble tournament that was full of teams. It took like 7 hours to play. It was quite ridiculous. And then came home, watched a movie with the roommate, and went to bed. So I didn't see anything. I just kind of read a little bit. I talked to a couple of people. Fellow Penn State fans kind of get me an update on what happened. And basically what happened was about what it looked like on the on the score app while I was kind of following along. Looks like, hey, Penn State picked up a win. That's the big thing. They won 30-13. It wasn't ever seriously in doubt, I don't think. There were a couple of moments where it felt like the score should have been bigger. They kicked a couple of field goals from inside the red zone, had a couple of drives kind of stall out. Aller was not quite as accurate, 16 of 33. But, as I said leading into this game, just don't get tripped up. Like, that's the only thing that can happen bad this weekend is you look ahead, you get tripped up, you lose. Just win. Just win, move on. You have Iowa coming to town next week. Iowa's a top 25 team. They're 24th in the AP poll. Penn State stays at 7. They've been at 7 all year. I feel like that's pretty fair. They've beat teams they should beat. Didn't do it crazily impressively, except, when they beat Delaware, which they should beat them pretty impressively. Like, it's fucking Delaware. So, it's now we're on to Iowa. Now we got Iowa coming to town. It's the whiteout game. It's a night game. It's going to be on CBS, which is so weird. So weird that a Big Ten game is going to be the CBS night game. That is just beyond odd to me. It's still weird that ESPN doesn't have the whiteout game. That's also weird. So, not a whole lot happened in college football this week. There wasn't a single top 25 matchup. That changes this coming week. But Florida State, they squeaked by. That was the big one. Florida State squeaked by with the win. South Carolina gave Georgia a game, but Georgia ended up kind of handling that business. But they both win in advance. That's all it is in college football. But a team that did not win was the Tennessee Volunteers. They went to the Swamp, and Big Ten quarterback Graham Mertz led the Florida Gators to be Florida chopping their way to a victory. So all Florida needed was a Big Ten quarterback, and they could finally start winning some games in the SEC. So, that's impressive. Big Ten quarterback just rolling down there in the SEC and just, making light work of one of their top 10 teams. Speaking of good quarterbacks, out in Colorado, Colorado survives Colorado State. Double overtime. This game started at 10 o'clock my time. If you thought there was a chance in fucking hell I was going to stay up and watch that game, you were out of your ever-loving mind. No chance. especially after a whole day on the golf course and some beverages of such. So Colorado wins in double overtime. I did see the dirty hit on Travis Hunter, and wow, was that a little late. That was pretty dicey. And I did see this, and I actually saw it Sunday or Monday, maybe today being Monday. The rush the field police is back. It's like, oh, there is nobody I have more disdain for than the rush the field police. Like, fuck off. It's a bunch of college kids drunk, and something fun happens, and they go, let's go towards the field, yeah! Who gives a shit? Unless they are just absolutely clocking people, just decking people and laying them out on their way. I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't care if Colorado storms the field after they beat Colorado State. I don't care if Penn State storms the field after they beat Delaware. I don't care. They're a bunch of college kids trying to have a good fucking time. And you're going to be here with, well, they should be. Fuck off. Fuck off. God, what losers. Rush the field police, you are losers. Losers. Losers, I tell you. You know what? There's going to be plenty of options to rush the field in this next week, and I hope fucking everybody does. I'm going to start a movement, and it's going to fail horribly because I don't think I have quite the clout for this, but I want people to rush the field after every win. I hope Colorado goes undefeated and rushes the field after every fucking win. Every time. And I hope we can, I'm trying to start a mass movement. Every win, rush the field. Rush the field. This week is fun, though. This week is fun. We got some good games. Obviously, Penn State, Iowa is going to have my attention. Ole Miss at Alabama. Alabama ranked 13th in the country now. They are out of the top 10 for the first time since 2015. 2015. Also, 2015 is 8 years ago now, which is scary. Scary. Don't like that very much. Don't like that very much at all. That game is that the 2:30 game? Or 3:30 your time? Yeah, that's a 3:30 game. Also at 3:30 Eastern, Colorado heads to Oregon. Gonna be a tough test for them. They have this will be interesting to see how they do against a legit top 10 team now. I think we realized that TCU was not that. Also, 3:30, big window here. UCLA at Utah. And there are a couple more games. This one's we're sneaking into a little later in the evening. You have Oregon State at Washington State, the Pac-12. A couple of big games, three big games here. And then also at 7:30, going up against the Penn State game, Ohio State at Notre Dame. So fun games this week. A lot of big matchups, a lot of things to keep your eye on. Seems to be a great week of college football games. Hopefully there's a lot of big wins and a lot of people rushing the field, just giving the goddamn bird to all the rush the field police, just running out there, hey, just tossing them around. So, college football, fun week ahead. Can't wait. Little golf talk. Just a couple of things to touch on here. Like I said, I'm hoping to do a Ryder Cup preview with a couple of people next week. It's penciled in, so hopefully it all stays together. But even if I'm not joined by anybody, I'm going to talk about the Ryder Cup more, so I won't talk about it a ton here this week. Just a couple of things. So first off, there was the Fortinet, not Fortnite Championship out in, I believe it's Silverado Resort and Spa North. I believe that's Napa. Yeah, I believe it's Napa, California. Wherever it is. We're in the new fall season that is not part of the next upcoming PGA Tour season that starts after the new year. But Sahith Theegala, is this his first win? He was the victor this weekend. Let me double check. Yeah, first win on tour, the Fortinet Championship. He'd won the QBE shootout with Tom Hoagie as well. But this is his first solo win. Had a nice year. Finished 9th at the Masters this year, T40 at the PGA, T27 at the U.S. Open. Missed the cut at the Open Championship. Missed the missed the Tour Championship by just one spot. So a nice year is kind of capped off for him with a win. Holds off Kim Sung Hwan. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. To win by a couple of shots. Funny thing about him in today's game, where driving the ball long and as well as accurate, these guys who drive it long drive it pretty fucking straight anymore. He had .02 strokes gained driving, I believe is the number I saw. .02. Let me see if I can't. I heard that on the I heard that on the No Laying Up pod this morning. I try to think if what the fuck? Where'd strokes gained go? I'm trying to remember if I relayed that right. But yeah, this guy does not drive it well. He drives it kind of all over. He doesn't drive it super long. It's a negative 0.2 today about event. 0.16. 0.16 was his overall. So not 0.02. Today it was negative 0.2. Not today, Sunday. Saturday 0.38, positive 0.56, and then round one minus 1.0. So yeah, not a good driver of the golf ball. Like, that's to find him, man, he is. Oh, I wish they would put this and give like a number to it. He is way down the list. If you're looking for, yeah, I wish it would tell you how far down the list. But I mean, he's below Brian Gay, who got cut. I mean, Tyler Duncan, Jason Duffner drove it better than him. I mean, just Duffner's a decent driver of the golf ball. It doesn't drive it anywhere. But yeah, so either way, cool first win for Sahith Theegala. I think, a lot of very likable guy. Very likable guy. We had a couple of Ryder Cuppers playing. Max Homa shoots a final round 3 under to finish T7. Justin Thomas even bounces back after a rough front 9 on Sunday and ends up in solo 5th at 15 under. Good sign for both of them. I would say more so for JT. You want to see him starting to show some sort of form and start playing better, as I don't think this justifies the pick, and I don't think, and I'll get into this more next week. I'm a big believer in JT. I think he was the right pick. I don't think this justifies it. I don't think he would have played bad this week. It would have mattered. And if he gets, maybe if he gets drum fucked like really bad, you can be like, maybe this was the wrong pick, and they just keep sending him out or they have to hide him. I don't think that's going to happen, but outside of just being a total disaster in Rome, I don't think you can say, hey, you can go to the thing and be like, look, it was wrong. But I guess you kind of can. But we'll get more into that next week. So, and then, over in Europe, as we're speaking, just kind of the Ryder Cup, just kind of, sort of here. Ryan Fox wins the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth. Ryan Fox is not on the European Ryder Cup team, but pretty much everybody else in the fucking top 10 is. It was top 10 is, there were 13 people tied at 10th that are better. You got Sepp Straka, Ludwig, Rory, Tommy Fleetwood, Victor Hovland, John Rahn, and Tyrrell Hatton, all in the top 10. The entire European Ryder Cup team played, and the entire European Ryder Cup team made the cut. So those guys all seem to be on good form. Some other guys, Matt Fitzpatrick, T18, Shane Lowry, T18. Where else? Who else we got to find? Is Adrian Meronk? I don't think Meronk's on it. They didn't take Dietrich. So the Europeans still seem to be playing well and on form heading in, as we are just, what are we? We're under 2 weeks. It's not this Friday that it starts. It's the following, the 29th. So, we are sneaking up on my favorite golf event of not of the year, of every 2 years. So that's about all we have for golf. So let's head on down to something else and keep this train rolling. Time for some passing thoughts. Going to start quickly with the Cleveland Guardians. They are winners this week. They end the week with a winning record. The Giants get the best of them. 1-2 with the Giants, but then they sweep the Rangers. So they sweep the Rangers. They go 4-2 this week. They're 6 games below 500 with 12 games remaining on the schedule. So an over 500 season seems to be a pipe dream. Would they have to win? So if they're 72 and 78, there's 12 games left. If they win 6, that's not going to do it. So that'd just be 50-50 the whole way. So if they go 9-3, then they'd be 81. No, 9 they'd be. Yeah, it'd be 81 and 81. They'd have to go 9-3. 9-3 to go 500 on the year. Ooh, my hair looks good. 9-3 to go 500 on the year. Don't think that's happening. So, that's them. 12 games left. 12 games left. Let's see how they do. See if they can close it out strong. This fucking dude. He pops up. Some asshole fucking retweets him into my feed every fucking once in a while. There's a guy, Aaron Rupar, on Twitter. He's the fucking worst. He's the worst. And there's these guys on the right, too. So don't get me wrong. But, he's just a shill for whatever, the Democratic establishment tells him. And again, I know there's the same fucking person on the right somewhere, too. And he pretends to be a reporter. And I guess in the fact that he reports what people say. But he puts a little spin on it. So you just know. He's like, oh, he's on that. He's the worst. Those are the worst kind of people ever. If all you do is shill for the establishment, you have no beliefs of your own. You have none of your own fucking ideas. You've never had an original thought in your entire life. You just fucking shill for the closest way for you to make a couple of bucks. And it's not like you're making a ton of money. Because if you're making a ton of money doing it, fuck it. I don't care. Get the fucking bag. Go for it. If you're making $5 million a year doing that shit, whatever. I do the same fucking thing. But to make whatever fucking shitty salary he makes working at whatever the fucking shitty newspaper he works at, I would assume that's what it is. I don't know. I should probably find that out. Let me look up this fucking loser's fucking Twitter. I mean, his fucking profile picture just looks like him being a fucking idiot. Oh, Snapstream. The fuck is Snapstream? Who knows? I don't even know what he does anymore. Who knows? But anyway, douchebag. Speaking of shills for the Democratic Party, CNN had a segment about Joe Biden lying all the time. It was so blatantly obvious that that's what he does. He just says things, and it's a great thing to wonder. Does he even know that he's lying now, or is he just in his head it's actually there? He's like, yeah, I did that. The thing with the guy and the legs, corn pop. Yeah, rained oil. Okay. Is he just fucking so old he's just saying shit, or is he no? Either way, CNN did something, did a segment about it. That was weird. They turn it on him? That'd be odd. Who knows? The Rock made the rounds this weekend. He was on Pat McAfee on Friday talking about how WrestleMania 39 was almost him and Roman, and then was hinting that WrestleMania 40 is a possibility in Philly. Then he was on Game Day on Saturday, but before he was on Game Day, he was back. Finally, The Rock came back to WWE. Pat McAfee was out there in the ring with Austin Theory, and here comes The Rock. The Rock is, doing the whole thing. He's even doing Stone Cold's catchphrases. Because he got hit with the "It Doesn't Matter" by Austin Theory, so he hit fucking Austin Theory with a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Give me a hell yeah. Delivered a people's elbow. Got a "You are an asshole" chant going. And the fucking censors on Fox were having a problem. They couldn't figure it out. You'd be watching it and it'd just be fucking, they'd have all the sound cut for, 3-4 seconds at a time. You'd come back in and they'd bleep out he was having him do the "You are an asshole." And you'd come back and half the crowd would be chanting "You are," and it'd be dark. And then you catch the "Oh," at the end. They were just struggling, man. They were struggling. Then he flipped it. And he flipped it when he said, hey, it said, this side do "You are," and that side do an asshole. And I'm pretty sure I heard an asshole get through because they censored the "You are," because they're like, oh, shit, he flipped it. I didn't realize I have the fucking timing off. It was fantastic. The Rock's the best in WWE. Absolute best. Fuck, it's too bad he got, I don't know, maybe it's not too bad. Maybe had he hung around, like, everyone would have soured on him. I mean, people kind of were souring on him towards, like, at different points when he was, they cheered for Hogan over him. They're kind of cheering for Brock Lesnar over him, too. So, but damn, it's too bad he only got, so few years in. But, man, he made the most of it, and he's the best. He's the best. Speaking of The Rock, how about the movie The Rock? How good of a movie is The Rock? Nick Cage, Connery, Ed Harris, just a bunch of other people in that movie. Like you would even little roles like Michael Biehn, the guy who played Leo McGarry on The West Wing. There's just people all over that movie. You're like, oh yeah, I know who he is. Like it's what they call on the Rewatchables pod, the That Guy. It feels like it's a That Guy movie. But yeah, it was. God, I watched that. The roommate not interested though. She did. I made a plea to watch The Rock, and she gave in, and she didn't love it. I thought I had a winner. I thought she was gonna like that one. Not so much. Not so much. Oh, I also forgot how long it takes them to get to Alcatraz in that movie. It's like an hour and 15 minutes before they get to the Alcatraz. I kind of thought they were there longer. I mean, how long is it? Is it like a 2 hour and 15-minute movie? That movie used to seem so long, and now every movie's like 2.5 hours. Wikipedia film. It runs for 136. Yeah, so 2:15. It's like an hour and 15 minutes before they even set foot on the island, like the SEALs. Either way, still fantastic. I love it. She didn't. Tough shit. It happens. Speaking of things, I also really enjoyed Winning Time. Watched the what turned out to be the series finale, as it has been canceled after 2 seasons. And it felt like, yeah, obviously cut short. They threw a little just like, this is what happens for the rest of the 80s after they get done with the 84 finals. I mean, obviously, here, spoiler alert, fucking almost 40 years ago now, the Celtics beat the Lakers in the 84 finals. So that's obviously not where they wanted to end the series. I guess they made like two endings at the start of filming. They kind of knew the writer's strike was coming and prepared themselves in case something like this would happen. So they had some sort of ending. And yeah, it's over. 2 seasons, 17 episodes, or 15 episodes. Was it 10? I think it was 10 the first season. Let me look. And just 7 this second time, the second season. So let me see. Yeah, canceled. I guess it was. Did it ever say why it got canceled? The news was a surprise, coming only moments after the network aired the second season finale Sunday night. The actual people involved, I know, did not like it. Like Jerry West did not like his portrayal. I don't think Kareem or Magic really enjoyed their portrayals much either. I didn't see what the... Yeah, no. There was... I haven't seen any reasons yet. But it's gone. It's gone forever. I doubt anyone can go grab it or anything like that, but it'd be cool if they did. But not happening, I don't think. But yeah, just 7 episodes. Oh yeah, I was going to look at they were in the first season. Whatever, who cares? It was a fun show. It was a fun show for 2 seasons, and I think there was some fun stuff to come up. They never even got to like the HIV stuff or like the how that was going to happen, in the party room and shit like that. But it's too bad. So it's over. And she's gone. She's gone forever. Another one of my favorite shows, though, turns out is coming back. I've been waiting for a long time. For All Mankind on Apple Plus. I've always really liked that show, the alternate history space adventure series about what happened if the Soviets had got to the moon before the U.S. Boomers down here if you hear somebody making noise over there. But yeah, that show will be back for season 4 on November 10th. And there are 10 episodes that will conclude on January 10th. I don't know if that's the end of the show. They have moved from the end of the 60s. This season will be set in 2003. So don't know how much longer that has in it either. But it seems like they're going to get enough time to keep going. Just a couple more things here. Made some pulled pork this weekend for the games yesterday on Sunday. The roommate made some mac and cheese to go with it. There's nothing I like more than like a little mac and cheese with pulled pork on top, or you do like brisket. Any sort of barbecue on top of mac and cheese is absolutely delicious. Also, this past week, Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee, and he body bagged Keith Olbermann pretty good. Keith, the Olbermann, the absolute lunatic that he is, said Rodgers got hurt because he wasn't vaccinated. So Roger told him, just head out and get that 5th vaccine, Keith. And Keith Olbermann, I'm sure, had a fucking meltdown wherever he is and probably posted a retort video. But thank God that dude doesn't pop up in my fucking Twitter feed too much. There's also been like commercials going around with the song "Welcome to Atlanta" on it. That song is an absolute fucking banger, by the way. Absolute banger. To the 10th degree. I'll leave you with this. I had to reset some passwords for some things. And because the password I thought it wasn't working, I go, okay, I'll make that the password. And sure as shit, I'm in there. You cannot use old passwords. You cannot use your most recent password. I'm like, if it was my fucking most recent password, why didn't it work to let me sign in? That's why I'm here making a new password. I feel better. I feel better now. But is that not the most annoying thing in the fucking world? You need to make a new password, but you can't use that password. I'm like, well, then if that was figure it out, people. Be smarter than me, because I'm a fucking idiot. So, all right, that's all I got this week for 89. Let's go wrap this thing up. What do you say? Closing time, everybody. Gather up your jackets. Head to the exits. Hope you have found a friend. Just want to say thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys so much. So thank you. Thanks to producer Kevy, as always. Made it tough around him here in football season with how it's all scheduled out. So if you know producer Kevy, thank him too. So thank you guys. Back next week. More NFL football. More Green Bay Packers. And like I said, hopefully that preview of the Ryder Cup, hopefully I got my guys with me to do it. If not, I'm doing one on my own. So it'll be happening either way. It's just whether or not there's somebody with me or not. I think that's about it. If you guys need Liquid IV, you know how to get it. liquidiv.com, promo code OWH. And till next week, peace.